Somebody forwarded me this article about an Irish bishop, and I couldn't believe it when I read it. And I'm just going to bring it up here because somebody said, a bishop is saying that lay-led liturgies are more enriching and life-giving celebrations. I said, what? What did he say? So I'm just going to read through this article in the Irish Catholic. Kildare and Loughlin announces plans for lay-led liturgies to help overstretched priests. Training of lay people to prepare them to lead liturgies in the absence of priests will begin in the autumn. Bishop of Kildare and Loughlin, Dennis Nolte, has said. Bishop Nolte envisages that lay leader would, as part of a local team, stand in on priest days off and during the holidays to lead the liturgy. To facilitate this, he has asked the Diocesan Commission for Liturgical Formation to organise the training. Priests are already stretched to cover every scheduled celebration, Bishop Nolte warned in a pastoral letter, saying that all agree there are too many masses. He asked parishioners to be reasonable in their demands to make of priests. If priests get sick or overstretch, where does that leave us? He continued. Bishop Nolte's pastoral letter, entitled Put Out into Deep Water, also announced that the diocese will divide into 19 localised parish clusters on an experimental basis. We must build a different type of church, he said. With this pastoral letter, I am assuring you, you will not be on your own. There will be supports wrapped around you. The bishop has called for discussions at parish levels to ensure the clusters are operable and correctly assigned, with an October 15th deadline for responses. After this, there will be further reflection on sustainable schedule of local mass to agreed by parish clusters on November 27th before becoming operable on February 26, 2023. I know changing schedules disrupts routine and traditions, but I am appealing to you all to look on this with an open mind and generous heart, Bishop Nolte said in his letter. I realise there will be a certain loss in these necessary changes, but also there is a gain of more enriching and life-giving celebrations. He added that this is about much more than masses, calling for deep reflection on the sharing of resources such as secretarial services and administration support. So that is the letter that was published there. We all know the priests are overstretched, and I do agree with the bishop that resources have to be carefully planned and so forth. But we are part of the Catholic Church. Catholic means universal. We shouldn't think that we're left to resolve our own problems ourselves. We send thousands of missionaries abroad to help form the faith. Why wouldn't we not ask for help from the Church Catholic, the Church Universal? There are many priests in Africa that do not get a wage that could come over to help for 3 or 4 months, would give them some formation, give them some financial help, and which would enrich their church and open us up to the Church Catholic, the Church Universal. Why do we have to go down the route of what's being proposed there? I mean, we don't need, technically, you don't need to go to Mass every day, but, a lot of people do. But I would challenge the bishop when he says that lay-led liturgies are a gain of more enriching and life-giving celebrations. They're not. It's not the sacrifice of the Mass. The Eucharist isn't celebrated there. You might as well just organise a rosary on a weekday if there's no Mass. Seriously. I know in other countries where there is a serious shortages of priests that, there are lay-led liturgies because physically priests can't arrive to certain locations, and that's understandable. But we are in Ireland. we are in Ireland. I mean, okay, you can't get mass at your local church. You can travel. I mean, I don't go to mass here often. I would go to Knock, or go to a traditional Latin mass to the Society of St. Pius X. I mean, we travel. You can travel. A lot of people have cars. There's public transport. We don't have to. The lay liturgy is in no way a substitute for the sacrifice of the Mass. It's not a more enriching and life-giving celebration. It can't be. That's a contradiction of Second Vatican Council, actually. It's a contradiction of our faith. There could be no more enriching and life-giving celebration than the highest form of prayer in the church, which is the sacrifice of the Mass. I wonder where these bishops were formed, if they can put stuff out like that into the Irish Catholic, and I don't know, where did this pop out of? I do wonder, like, we have to get real, but I mean, all during the pandemic when bishops and priests ran away, we had Mass. There was Mass available. There was lots of priests in Ireland that stood up and didn't bow down to the 666 days and 6 hours of COVID restrictions, where we were all afraid. We're all afraid. Everybody's afraid in Ireland. Mask up. We're all afraid. We're all afraid of... Mass went on every week. Mass went on around Ireland. There was faith. If people want Mass, they will get Mass. But to say that you can have a more enriching and life-giving celebration than the holy sacrifice of the Mass, we've lost the faith. Lost the faith anyway. I suppose these are interesting times, Anyway, God bless. Take care. Bye bye.